everybody, it's Tom from PC Gamer with Magda to talk about Ruiner. So for those who don't know, what is Ruiner?
Ruiner is an action shooter, story-driven game created in the spirit of called cyberpunk anime.
And how does the game play? Like, what are you actually doing? Is it like, it seemed sort of like almost like dungeon crawlery, like you were going through like a Diablo-style map, killing enemies.
Well, yeah, you actually go deep into the guts of the city of Rankok, and you have to fight some really tough and many different enemies. But there is also a place that you go back to. This is the city of Rankok, the lowest district where the low-level citizens are. So you can have some resting time over there, and to prepare for the missions. And then when you go on a mission, you usually go through a couple of levels of different environments. And what we are showing in the game, in the demo right now, is just the basic mechanics. So you have melee weapons, firearms, and grenades, and gadgets like dash and shield, energy shield that you can combine into a powerful charge that you can just bust the enemies. And further into a game, we have already a great variety of developments, like new levels for those gadgets and new weapons, energy walls, singularity grenades, sonic weapons, switch guns, with which you can hack the enemies, so they will fight for you actually for a while. So with every playthrough, the players would be able to explore different play styles. Sometimes you wouldn't even have to fire a single bullet. Sometimes, if you want, you can just play like a badass, just walking around and shooting people with a pistol, right?
And you could only hold one gun at a time while I was playing, and it seemed like you ran out of ammo really, really quick and switched guns a lot. What's the gun variety like in the game?
Gun variety, we have 3 pistols already. We have SMGs, shotguns, rifles. We have 1 laser cannon. So this is just for starters. There will be many, many more. Like I said, energy weapons, sonic guns, switch guns. Well, you name it. We're still on it.
And outside of the combat, you mentioned it was a story-driven game, and you seem to have put a lot of detail into the world and the characters and the dialogue. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, actually the world and the characters were one of the first things that we worked on. So we had this idea that the characters should be faceless. So you can really every player can put their imagination into the characters. And from the conversations that we've already had, it really, you can really tell that they keep imagining things, and they come to us with their ideas. So the world is the world of a future, the city of Rankok in 2091. It's a fiction city in Southeast Asia with all the Southeast Asian vibe to it. That there is, a high technology developing, but there is the low level of society that is being forgotten.
And the game was pretty hard when I played it, but it was hard in a good way, where you felt like you kind of got into a flow eventually. Can you talk about kind of how you went about designing that combat system too?
Well, for designing the combat system, I'm not responsible, but I know that Kuba, who's responsible, he wanted it not to be this kind of mindless shooter that you go just run around and shooting things. That you actually have this kind of gameplay that would be at the same time dynamic and fast-paced, and require a kind of tactical, maybe not require, but player could use their tactical mind to be able to think about how they want to play this sequence or that. So with this different setup of gadgets and weapons that we have, you can actually replay different missions and play it differently every time and explore this kind of different possibilities.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for talking to me about Ruiner, and stay tuned at PCGamer.com for more from PAX East.